Welcome to Set to Love, everyone. I am Eva Pick, and I'm here with my guest co-host, Alicia Viola, a good friend of ours. I think I'm echoing on your computer. Am I echoing on your computer a little bit?
A little bit. You weren't a minute ago, but just as we went live,
it started echoing. Maybe turn the volume down on your computer really quick.
Okay.
So you can hear me still, but it's maybe not coming back in. Okay, yay! Hi. So I am driving home from Las Vegas. I am in the middle of the desert somewhere, but when you have something, you show up for it. So here I am. And then Shelly is in New York, and she's like, "Do you need me to show up?" And I was like, "It's going to be the middle of the day for you. No, I'll just bring Alicia on, and we'll talk about being true to ourselves, because that is something one of your platforms, something that you're so good at." And so, yay, thank you so much for being here today with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. I love that we're just like going live and we're just going to chat.
Like our format's a little different, but we're still here bringing some kind of love to you all out there. So thank you so much. So I asked you when I said, "Hey, do you want to come on and co-host with me?" I said, what is top of mind for you? Like, what is something that would be easy for you to talk about? And what do you want to just dive right into what you're going through, what you want to share?
Yeah. So, I would say, so honestly, there's like two big things top of mind right now. The first one is, you guys, I'm moving, and I'm like in the middle of like business, just getting everything set up for this business. Well, everything is set up. I'm like, things are going, but just doing that and moving, and we're moving across state lines. So we're moving to Wisconsin. So we had to get our house ready, and it's just been a little bit crazy trying to figure out, but everything sort of, and you always talk about flow, Eva, and like the way this worked out, it was seriously flow. It was like February. Oh, somebody said that blouse. Thank you.
That's my sister. I'm Molly Blisticus. Told you to be here. And your blouse is very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
About moving across state lines.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Back in February, it was just like this voice that was like, "You're gonna move," and I was like, "We're not gonna move." Like, we had no plans of moving. And it was just like, okay, we're going to potentially move. So my husband comes home. My husband was out of town. So then I shared with him when he got home, I'm like, we might be moving. And he's like, wait, what? And I was like, well, I kind of have this feeling, and I'm thinking that this is going to happen. And he's like, where are we moving to? And I was like, well, I think it might be Wisconsin. So, and I'm not joking, you guys, this is how fast it happened. Within 2 days of him telling us, 2 days of me telling him that, we get a text message. So the area that we're moving to is this area that not a lot of houses go on the market. It's rural. People hand down these houses to their family. Like, that's the type of area it is. And my husband's got family there. So people knew we were looking, but he gets a text message 2 days later, and it's, "Hey, we have this property. Are you guys interested in moving in May?" And my husband was like, "Oh my, Alicia, I can't believe this is happening." So then we, within, again, a week, we toured schools and we found a place for the kiddos. And it was just like, you guys, it has been so crazy, but I'm so, so grateful to just like trust that intuition and trust sometimes that the world throws you crazy opportunities if we're paying attention to it. And sometimes things come in and you're like, okay, I don't know what this is. I'm not, but honestly, if you just let go of what you're expecting and allow for, as Eva says, like, just allow for it to flow and just go with it. Sometimes I feel like not sometimes, always, like, amazing things happen. So that's what I'm going through right at the moment. So like to the left here, wait, no, that way. I don't know. I can't move my camera, but there's like boxes behind me. So now we're in like full, like, okay, we've got to get boxes, and oh my gosh, the next 2 months are just going to be a little nuts, but all good.
I am so excited for you. Now, are you scared? Is there some fear in, something like a move? That's not just hey, I have an idea, let's try something out. This is a big thing to move your family.
Yes. Yes, it is, like schools. And I think I was a little bit worried about the kids. My husband and I think have had different ideas on my husband went to the same school, had the same friends, and that was really important to him. I had the opposite upbringing where we moved around a lot and I went to multiple schools, and at the time I didn't love it. But I think it helped me to be more well-rounded and social. And so I think him and I have always kind of struggled with that a little bit, like, what do we want for our kids? And then we've just kind of gone with it. But so I think that was the biggest fear, was like, oh, how is this going to work with the kids? But I will tell you, I have like part of the language that we have in our household is like, what's the adventure that we're going to go on, or how can we, what type of experiences can we have? We talk a lot about experiences. So when we presented this to the kids, it was like, you guys, we have an adventure planned, and like, wait until you hear what we're about to do, so anyway, I think that is a little bit of the fear, is like, how are they, like, they're excited right now, but how are they going to like it? But also just equally super, I'm excited for however this unfolds. And I'm trying not to have expectations and just like enjoying the ride.
I love that. That is so beautiful. Now, is your husband going to be able to keep the same job, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, so he was able, so obviously with everything that's going on right now, there's a lot more remote working. And so his company was like, yep, that's not a problem. So he is able to work remote. And we're only 3 hours, like 2.5, 3 hours from where we're at now. So as far as travel, he would still drive to the same airport. So it's a little bit more drive time for him when travel resumes. But outside of that, it will be the same as it is right now. So
I love that. And that's you being true to you, listening to your intuition. What my curiosity for you is, what around intuition have you learned in the last, say, 6 months or a year? Because you left a corporate job to go follow this dream of being this transformational coach. And so that probably was some big voice in your head saying, go here, go do something different. You're not meant to be doing the same thing that you've been doing all this time. Yeah. So what was that like for you, that unfolding and listening and trusting your intuition?
Yeah, I tell my clients that I feel like what happens is when you're first trying to hear your inner voice or your intuition, or you're trying to tune in, oftentimes it's hard to hear because we don't have the practice. And there's no judgment. It's just, that's kind of how it works, right? And you're not sure what that voice is or what it sounds like. But I think the more you tune in and the more you connect to it, I think the more you're able to hear it and you're able to decipher it. And so I think over the last 6 months, year probably, I've been really trying to tune in more. I think for a long time, and I think all of us do this, we try to it's like, I don't know why this voice is telling me this, or I don't know why I have this idea. And we sort of like shrug it off, or we push it to the side, like not knowing what it is. And I think through my own self-exploration and studying and those types of things, I found that is where all of the beauty and magic happens, when you listen to that voice, because it's your intuition knows what it is you need. Also, listening, studying neuroscience, we focus on we focus where we're thinking. And so this, I think if you're tuning into your intuition, you're focusing more broadly where you might not be thinking. And so that's why I think oftentimes it feels like this is like out of left field, or I don't know where this is coming from, because you know what, we have so many more opportunities that we're exposed to that we do not see. But the more I think you can be open to the possibilities and open to those opportunities, I think the more that those opportunities present themselves. And I feel like the last 6 months, like that's what's happened to me.
So I want to ask you, do you feel like as you've gotten closer to really creating this life and flow for yourself, do you find that, I found to be true for me and true for my sister as well, she's gotten into painting and drawing and really into her creative side. And when she just kind of really pours herself in, but also like lets go, just being free within that thing that you love, that's the magic that really happens in life. You find that to be true too when you finally like say yes to that idea and then just pour yourself into it.
Yes. I feel like, I was just telling my husband this the other day, like what I'm doing right now doesn't, like, I'm probably working, I'm working a lot of hours, but it doesn't feel like work. It's just my life and it's just my purpose and it's what I'm meant to do. And so it doesn't feel difficult or hard or like, oh, I'm working so many hours. But I also recognize that I'm kind of a workaholic. So I'm trying to like make sure that I build in that time and space for myself, which I know is really, really important. But I think, I think when you pour yourself into something that you love, it's just so easy. I mean, and you can just get, almost get carried away with it. Like I have so many ideas that pop into my head that I'm just like, oh my God, like I have a online app where I'm keeping track of them because I'm just like, okay, I can't do anything with that. I need to put that on the over here,
Right. So let me ask you this then, and something that I've noticed. I noticed this with myself and my sister as well as we get into these flow states and start really living in this space. How do you find that balance? Because I know for her, like she could be up till 4 a.m. painting and, and then it's like, you can get so involved with the thing that you're doing that it's like you kind of lose track that there's a world out there.
Yeah.
Like, so where do you find the balance? How do you do that?
Yeah. So there's a podcaster who I was listening to who was talking about like, there is no such thing as balance. It is periods of intense creativity or intense work or intense like outflow, right? Your soul has something that it needs to deliver to the world. And I haven't listened to his whole podcast he's actually writing a book on this topic. And this is something that I really resonate with because I think coming from the corporate space, a lot of people talk about, find balance. And it never felt balanced. I don't think there is a balance. I think there are these periods of, I have something to share and deliver with the world. And it just needs to come out. And that might mean that I'm up until, like you said, 4 a.m. Or it might mean that it's like 5 weeks of like really intense work to get that out of you. And then I think there are these natural seasons in our life. And I think if we're aware, we can pay attention to what we need. And I think tuning into that awareness allows us to have this major creative moment, deliver something, birth something. I mean, I feel like sometimes is what it feels like. And then after you get done, it's like, you're like, okay, all right. Now that I did that thing, I can go take a week or whatever you need, or maybe you're doing something different during that time frame where you're resting. So I think it's these periods of like a really intense work because you have something to share with the world. And I think you need to honor that. But then equally, I think don't push yourself after that to force yourself to be in another like big creative or output sort of moment. I think it's really tuning into our seasons.
That's so powerful. And, I've thought that too. I thought when I was writing the book, I would just have to be like, kids, go away. I'm in my flow. Because if I stopped what I was doing, I couldn't get back to that moment again. And it was in that moment that was something like you said that had to be said, had to be written.
Yeah.
And once I was done with it, then I could totally go back to being quote unquote normal mom and showing up and all the things that I've always showed up. But it was this intense period of time where I had to just dive into that thing and then I could pull back from it. And now having gone through that cycle once, I'm like, do I want to go back there? How do I get back there? And that's the journey, because I know how demanding, but also beautiful it is. So it's not a place that I think I would want to live in forever, but in those moments, like you called it a season, find that.
Yeah. And I was just going to say and I don't think you can live there forever. I don't think that you are meant to stay there for a prolonged period.
Oh, did I just lose you? Oh,
yep, there it is.
Okay.
It did for a second.
What happened?
No, that's okay.
You're right. I do think that it's it's the moment, and that's such beautiful things. Like the songwriters will write the song, or
Yes.
the painter will do the painting, or the author will write the book, or whatever it might be. You train for a marathon. You don't go run marathon after marathon after marathon.
Right.
Some people do, right? Weekend after weekend, but you go for, oh, here's my sister. What if you want to? What if you want to live in that intense space? Okay,
Yeah.
what would you say to her?
So I think that there's a soul wanting to birth something. And then I think there is the mind, and I get it, because I do this. I'm a type A. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love being in that space. That feels amazing. But I think it's important to be aware that you can't. Because your ability to birth something, you're not going to have the same sort of feeling that you do when it really is honored in the season. You know, if you're honoring the season that you're in, it like you feel that like it's electric. You know, it's powerful, it's magic, you can feel it. But when you're forcing it, it doesn't feel the same. And it starts to feel, I mean, I think you start to feel burnout. So I think you need to have periods. I will say most of my friends tell me, you know, like I exhaust them at how much I do and like my personality, right? So it's not for everybody. I also think that different types of people might need less downtime, but I do need downtime and I need to honor that. Although I agree with your sister, I love that feeling because it's exciting.
It is. It's very exciting. And I think, you know, when you first find it, it's so beautiful. And the stuff that comes out of you is so like, is this even me? I would kept thinking like, am I the one writing this? Wait, I go back and read something and I'm like, where did this come from?
Oh, I love that.
But like to live in that space, I think if you can, it's beautiful. But it definitely felt like there was a message or there was something that needed to come out right now.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, what's the next message? What's the next thing? And that's like all the little shiny objects. I'm like, is it that one? Is it this one? Is it that one? You know, like, where do you go next? So I guess maybe that's my last question for you. What do you do when you're in that downtime and now you're going to you're ready to like get back in and do something? How do you find, or what advice would you give to someone who's like, okay, I've been in downtime for 6 months, like, you know, I'm ready to produce something and bring something to the world again. What would you say to that person? You know most different things.
Yeah, I think most people, when you've had your downtime and there's something ready to come up, it's there. I think a lot of times though, we are scared because it can be scary. It can be scary to say whatever it is. And sometimes it's like, you know, when I quit my corporate job, it was just like, oh, like I can't do this. And you shy away from it. And then you start seeking like, okay, I want to do something, but not that. But that's not honoring, you know, it's not honoring what you truly are meant to bring and give to the world. And, you know, so I think if you're feeling like it's like, oh, I have this feeling of needing and wanting to bring something out, my guess is you know what it is. My guess is it's in your heart. You hear it, but it's hard and it's difficult and it's scary. And so you shy away. And I would just ask you to walk through that whole series of like, well, what would happen if you did it? Like literally going through that series of like, what would happen? What would be the worst thing? What would be the best thing? You know, because in the end, like if you're meant to deliver that, if you're meant to bring that into the world, the universe will support you. You are amazing and powerful and you'll figure it out.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here with me today in this version of Set to Love. You are now my go-to guest host, should I need one down the road, because you always have so much beautiful things to say. And I love you. Good luck with your move. When are you moving to 2 weeks? Did you say 2 weeks?
No, I think we're on the countdown of 7 weeks at this point. So 7 weeks and we're moving to Wisconsin.
Okay. I'm so excited for you. Well, good luck with all of that. I can't wait to have you back on the show again. And thanks everyone out there for watching. We appreciate you. We love you. Alicia, where can people find you if this advice is resonating with them and they want a coach to help them through or with this exploration of being true to you and diving into like your deepest heart's desires and executing on that. How can people find you?
Yeah, so I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn. It's Alicia Ayala, as it is listed down below. You can find me in those 3 places. I'm mainly hanging out on Facebook these days. And then 2 ways to work with me. You know, I've got a free Facebook group where I do group coaching once a month, and I do lives 4 times a week or 4 times a month, so every week. And then there's different challenges that I'm offering. And then I've also recently launched a 14-week high touch deep work 14-week program. So it is beautiful if you're looking to really explore who you are. And it's a transformative process with me in your corner, cheering you on and helping you out.
I love that. So thank you so much again for being here. Thanks everyone out there for watching. We're here weekday mornings. We are Set to Love, and you can find us at settolove.com. If you have questions, you want to email us, you can email us at set2lovepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Alicia. I appreciate you and love you. Thank you. Have a great day. Which way am I going? This way. Okay, bye.
Bye.